Alton Towers is back open for the summer season. All the big rides like Nemesis, Wicker Man, 13, they're all back. Towers is opening some new ones as well at CBeebies Land for the little ones, including a Hey Doggy Adventure Playground. Aaron Challoner's a coaster fan. He runs a YouTube channel about them, and he's with me this morning. Good morning. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much. Great to be on the show today.
Tell me a little bit about you and roller coasters and when you first got hooked.
So I first got hooked around about 10 years old when I became a full enthusiast, and I think it was just the overall atmosphere that really drew me into it, and I sort of wanted to learn more about it and also in time teach more people about them.
So did you basically badger whoever it was that was looking after you into going to various theme parks to go on roller coasters continually?
Most of the time, yeah. At least half the time, yes. But then it just became my own habit to want to go as well.
You never forget your first one. Mine was the Corkscrew at the Towers when I was about 10 years old. I would have thought. Equally terrified and thrilled in sort of equal measure. Thought it was amazing. What was your first?
The Corkscrew was my first coaster, and the twists and turns, the iconic double corkscrew interlocking together, one after the other. It was just a really classic coaster and something that's always going to stick with me throughout the rest of my life.
How many times have you been to the Towers?
I've been, apart from the COVID year 2020, I've been every year at least once since 2005.
So you've been every year for the last 17 years?
Yeah.
Bar 2020, obviously. That's pretty good going. So I presume you get an annual thing, do you?
Funnily enough, actually, I've not bought an annual pass yet. I've sort of stuck to paying on the day. I might go for an annual pass at some point in the future.
Best Alton Towers roller coaster, go.
Wicker Man.
The wooden one, one of the newest ones, yeah?
Yeah, I rate that just highly over Nemesis. I think Nemesis, once it's got its rumoured refurbishment done, hopefully it'll be number one again.
The what refurbishment?
Yeah, so there's talks going around of a possible refurbishment some point in the future to get its track replaced, sand put into the site, etc. So hopefully it might shoot back to number one once it's had its refurbishment.
Is that to make it quieter or something?
I think one of the reasons is to make it quieter. I think, especially if you can get it done before its birthday in 2024, I think that would be a nice touch as well.
I think it's brilliant as well, Wicker Man. I do like that. What's Air called now? I always forget. Is it called Galactica?
Galactica, yeah.
I always tend to try and go on that first because it's slower.
Yeah.
Although it's a really good ride. If you go on Nemesis and then Galactica, I think Galactica feels really quite slow. That makes sense.
Yeah, and also Galactica seems to be one of the two that gets the biggest queues even on quiet days. I think that and Rita usually get big queues, even though it's not the most highly rated coasters out of a lot of them.
I was one of the first to ride Smiler. It was just me and some crash test dummies. That was quite terrifying.
That was an interesting experience.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of sort of value out of that because it's such a long coaster. Front of Nemesis, if you can be bothered to queue for the front, is something else.
It's worth it. Totally worth it.
It is. It's brilliant. And Oblivion, I'm gutted they had to take off the "Don't Look Down" bit on Oblivion.
That's what made the theme for me, and the soundtrack as well. The guy that says "Don't Look Down" from the promo videos in the queue line, that just makes it for me. If they can do if that's the next coaster for a refurbishment, Alton Towers, please do it because it's next up for me.
I'd be in that queue, producer Matt. He also likes roller coasters. We both do. I'd be in that queue going, "What am I doing? Why have I done this? Why am I doing this again?" What am I doing?
The worst thing about Oblivion, though, is when you get round the top and you start going round, and you get to the top of it. I always think, "Why have I put myself on here again? Why have I done this again?" Every time I get in the queue and think, "Oh, we're brilliant," and I get on it, I think, "What an idiot!"
Every time I'm on Oblivion, I use those 3 seconds where it usually says "Don't look down" to say, "What am I doing here?"
I usually use that 3 seconds to tell Amber that it must be broken or something like that, just to get some extra noise. Oh, it stopped. It doesn't usually stop, I'll say, and she'll go, "What do you mean?" And then it drops. Try that one. It's a good one. Tell us about your channel and who watches it, etc.
So the channel's for everyone, not just the theme park enthusiasts. I want to keep the general public informed, get them, interested about theme parks. It's mainly about theme park news. You got channels out there that are mainly about vlogging from the theme parks. I'll do that as well, but I'm more the news side of things and the interview side of things with people in the business, like technical directors, manufacturers, etc. And yeah, the channel's mainly for everyone. Anyone can view it. Everyone's allowed to view it. Everyone's allowed an opinion.